The next slide shows the author's response to the claims of the people who left the church. Contrary to what they said, that Jesus did not come down in the flesh, the author insists that Jesus did appear in the flesh. He was a real human body. He didn't just look like it. And the crucified Jesus, who they saw crucified, was also the exalted Savior. And when he says exalted, he means being exalted to heaven. He said that the divine Logos, or Word, assumed physical humanity. That word Logos is used in many different ways, and I don't think scholars have agreed on exactly what John means by that, but it probably means that God's own consciousness, God's own mind, was incarnated in the human being Jesus of Nazareth. The author believes that his and the church's understanding of the Gospel of John make the community mainstream enough that they can be a part of the larger church, that they can belong to a community of many churches that claim Christ as their Savior. One of the reasons that we are highlighting this letter, 1 John, in this class is because later on, hundreds of years later, when the church authorities were deciding which books should and should not go into the canon, and when they were debating especially the nature of Christ and the nature of God, and how Jesus could be both divine and human, the letters to John were very influential because, as you can see, if you read 1 John, that's the question of Jesus' relationship to God and his humanity is very much at the center of the discussion in 1 John. So that made the church leaders use 1 John a lot more than they might have used other books in determining what the Bible means. And later on, when the church came up with the concept of the Trinity, three people in one God, then part of that decision and that definition arose from their reading of 1 John.